thank you so much for checking out the Canter Lane Sales program. This is Thomas Faulkner coming to you live from the studio, and it is an honor to be your guide on your sales journey. I can't tell you how long it's taken me to not just put this together, but really just all the research and all the study that I've done from all of the new sales guys from over the decades, newer guys and older guys, and everything from neuro-linguistic programming to hypnosis and just to straight up hard selling. I mean, I've studied it all, and I've tried a little of everything, and in the end this is kind of what works for me, and it is proven to work for everybody. This is really the core fundamental pieces that you're gonna have on your sales journey. You're gonna run into all of this stuff, and this is different tactics and all of the best of the best, all of the best lines and all of the best information that I can give you for a basic just starting out point in your sales career, but also even the veteran salespeople could definitely use a little refresher course every now and then, and there may be something in here that you had heard before and you've forgotten, and you're like, oh yeah, I really need to reincorporate that into my sales tactics. So just know that this has been a very long time building all this and putting all this together for all of you. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get a lot of value out of this. So let's go back. So week 1, introductory techniques for any PSI. As you know, this is Canter Lane Sales, so this is a PSI, but it's product, service, and idea. And the road of life is paved with the bodies of indecisive squirrels. So I'm going to invite you to, be decisive in your life, and to, give yourself a timeline on any decisions that you have to make, especially if it's a really simple decision. A lot of people take too long with really just basic decisions that, if you make the wrong choice, a lot of things are very trivial and you can just redo it or fail forward fast. But let's begin with the sales and the sales cycle overview. So final destination in sight is, of course, you want to close the deal, but you've got to understand the sales process and lead generation, qualification, presentation, closing. And so for some of you, the company that you work for may do a lot of the lead generation for you, and you may have a really cake job with that. Or maybe you work at a car lot, and lead generation, you may call people and try to cold call and get people in the door, but a lot of people work at car lots and they just sit there and they wait for people to walk onto the lot. Maybe you're in-home sales, so maybe you just knock door to door. I mean, it's gonna depend on what kind of sales you do and where you're going. And then qualification, that's when you first are talking to somebody in the sales process, and really qualification can be done as you're meeting someone for the first time. You can kind of sniff them out, and it's nothing unethical about it to just ask them questions that may relate back to your business. If you sell cars, ask them what kind of car they drive. Or if you sell weight loss pills, and maybe they could have a few pounds to lose. But in the end, qualification is something that you'll need to learn how to do, to ask the right questions related to your industry, and you'll need to present a good product, and then you'll need to close them. And closing is in the end, it's a war of attrition, and you want to benefit both parties definitely, and have effective communication. So you want to build rapport, right? And you want to talk to people and empathize, but of course they say that the Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you could listen twice as much as you speak. So remember that when you're talking to a customer or a client, you treat them like somebody that you're meeting in church. And if you don't go to church, then whatever the most kind of formal setting is, you know, what you'd imagine church would be, you know, or like a high school graduation. Not the graduation party, but like, you know, graduation, or, you know, if you didn't graduate from high school, or you going to graduate from high school, just, you know, any kind of formal event that you would go to, you know, be really respectful to them. Say yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am. You know, if they're kind of, you know, older, you know, and feel them out. If they say don't call me sir, you know, just call me Jerry, then just call them Jerry, you know what I mean? Really, they say the golden rule is treat people as you want to be treated, but that's really not true. You want to treat people as they want to be treated. You know, people want to be treated different ways, and you see people in abusive relationships all the time, and they stay in abusive relationships, and you can't imagine why they stay in the abusive relationship, but it's because that person is treating them the way that they want to be treated and the way they believe they deserve to be treated. So, you know, you want to build strong rapport with the person by treating them as they want to be treated, and that's usually in a good way, you know, and satisfaction, you know, builds repeat business. And be genuine and authentic, you know, with your interactions. Don't fake, you know. There's always fake it till you make it, but fake it till you make it is for, you know, your attitude towards work, and, you know, your overall motivation. You know, fake your motivation until it's actually real, but don't fake your interactions with your customers, you know, until they become real. Just go in and, you know, I mean, if you're nervous, then just say that you're nervous. You know, just tell them that you're nervous. Most people are nervous. Right? But don't make qualifying an interrogation. Ask questions in a friendly tone, right? And you want to, you know, the ramp is the right lane, right? You are going to affect their emotion very early, somehow. Within 3 seconds, they're going to decide whether they like you or not, and that's going to decide, part one, whether or not they're going to buy from you or not. If they like you, then they're more likely to buy from you. If they don't like you, but they really need your product, they may still buy from you, but it's very rare that people buy from somebody that they don't like, and you've got 3 seconds for them to like you, and they're going to judge you up, they're going to size you up, and, you know, you as far as your presentation goes, or anything like that, any points that you want to make the right brain. You want to engage their creativity and their emotional centers, because information without emotion is just completely wasted. People do not remember things that is just information without emotion. They will forget it pretty much instantly, you know, within about 8 seconds, I believe. So emotionally early, before you work logic. When you're running your business, if you are you know, or if you are solopreneur out here doing lead generation and everything like that, you know, speed and precision, right? Speed, meeting customer demands, and synergy of speed, and be accurate, you know, in your information and your solutions. You're going to need to know your information inside and out, and your system inside and out. You know, they say that sales is 10% product knowledge. They say it's 10% product knowledge, but really, I mean, let's be real. It's 100% product knowledge. If you don't know what you're selling, if you don't know anything, you know, you're just going to have unhappy customers. But in the end, you know, don't overanalyze. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. You need to learn what you need to learn to be able to get out and start riding the bike, riding the motorcycle, driving the sales cycle. Get out there and you know, with as much information as you have, and, you know, just go for it and learn. Because look, if you don't know how to respond to a customer's problem, and they're calling you up saying, hey, you know, like, what's this problem? You know, that problem isn't there yet. You know, if you're going to imagine problems like, oh, I need to have a solution for that problem, you know what I mean? Okay, work on a solution for that problem, but also sell that customer right now. You've got an opportunity to sell that customer, then sell them. And then find out later on, you know, and then you have time to think about, like, okay, well, you know, if I need to respond to that issue, then I've thought of it, and, you know, you've still closed the deal, right? You know, right brain and left brain. You know, left-handed people are in their right mind, and, you know, right-handed people, which is a majority of people, are in their left brain. And you know, this is the thing. There's different sales strategies. You know, from analytical people or analytical and artistic people, you know, and so, you know, find the right balance for people. But this is the thing, even analytical people, 99, some people say 99, and some people say 100%. You know, Harvard says 99%, but really 100% of, you know, sales decisions, of buying decisions are made because of emotion, and then they're justified with logic. And, you know, it's just one of those things like, oh, my roof was leaking, so I had to get a new roof. You know, like, yeah, you know, but you were emotionally involved first before you know, had to do that. You know, it's very logical that you would get a new roof, but, you know, I mean, it's just, there's always some kind of emotion that triggers the logical purchase. So, you know, right now, you may be unconsciously incompetent. You might not even know what you don't know what you don't know. And really, that's everybody to a certain degree. You know, there's a lot of things that I don't know, and there's a lot of things that I don't know that I don't know. You know, things that we don't know that we don't know. You ever see the Boondocks? There are known knowns and there are unknown unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things that we don't know that we don't know. Say what again? Say what again, mother... Anyway, that's a great show. But, you know, a lot of you may be consciously incompetent. You know that you got a lot to learn as far as sales is concerned, and you just want to learn and improve. And some of you may be really good already, actively applying your skills, right? And you still need some focus and effort. And some of you may, you know, think that you're a little better than you are, and some of you may be, you know, a little better than you think you are. It just kind of depends, and really always depends on the customer too. Some people we're going to click with, and we're going to be like, oh man, I'm so good, I'm such a great salesperson. And then the next person you see, and you're like, oh God, I am just like the absolute worst. I could not communicate with that person at all. And it's just one of those things, you know. It's everything is vibration, and you know, if you're sending off an opposite vibration or a counter vibration to somebody, you know, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. But and then eventually you are going to become unconsciously competent, you know. And for driving, you know, it's you know, different scales, especially if you've ever driven a manual vehicle, you know, with this stick shift. And I know a lot of younger people aren't going to know what that means, but you know, there was a time when you had to shift your vehicle, and there was a time that, you know, you would choose to shift your vehicle. I don't know if you can even buy a manual anymore. You have to like special order it, maybe. I don't know. I loved driving a manual back in the day, though. So the whys start with whys. You know, what's your why? Why are you taking this course, and why are you wanting to learn about sales and become a better salesperson and ultimately a better persuader? Because that's what this is all about. Life is sales, and everything that you get in life is a commission, and that is just an absolute fact. And you might as well you know, work something like a sales job where you actually get paid based on the amount of work that you do. There's so many times when I, you know, worked, you know, I went back and forth doing sales and doing labor and, you know, waiting tables and, you know, different, you know, sales jobs and just different jobs. And, you know, there was a time when I was a very left-wing cat and, you know, looked down on my mother and father for doing sales because I thought it was a scam. I thought it was shady business, shady practice. But in the end, marketing and sales is the only reason that anything ever gets bought for any, you know, the only reason to, you know, improve your life, you know, really is going to come to you through some kind of marketing or sales. You know, the only ways to improve your life. You know, most of the time, though, you're not going to see them on TV, and that is what's really the sad thing, is that there's so much money spent on TV advertising and things like that to get people to buy things that they absolutely don't need, and there's a million things in the world that could benefit them, and hopefully you sell one of those things, something that you can get behind and actually ethically sell. And why are you selling it? You know, the reason, and don't worry about the reasons that other people underperform. Jim Rohn has a great quote where he says, don't worry about this why stuff, the answer is in the deal. And you know, he's absolutely right. The answer is in the deal. But he's talking about the parable of the sower, and the sower had good seed. And even the good seed, it would land on the soil, and if it landed on the good soil, some of the seed did only 10%, and some of it did 100%, some of it did 30%, and you don't worry about why the seed grows as high as it grows. You know what I mean? You can foster it as much as you can foster it, but in the end it's going to do as much as it's going to do. You can water it better, you can give it, you know, fertilizer. There are certain things that you can do to boost people's performance, but in the end, you know, people will underperform, and if it's not your responsibility, you know, take responsibility for everything, you know, that you need to. So, you know, why are you doing this? And, you know, why do you even wake up every day? Align your actions with your personal values, so that, you know, and then your personal values. And really, we want to live not a value-driven life, but a principle-driven life. And you should be selling based on principle. And there's a lesson that you'll, you know, take on this course about, you know, selling by principle. But, you know, principles are universal constants. You know, it's not, a value is something like, you know, I may value a new pair of shoes different than you. You may value a new car differently than me. But, you know, it is a principle, you know, of life that, you know, humans pretty much need: food, water, and shelter to survive. So, you know, live by principle. So the book of the week, Start With Why by Simon Sinek, you know, and find your why. And, you know, he's got a great quote: our passion lies deep in who we are, not what we do. And that's the thing. A lot of times they'll say, you know, what do you do? And, you know, if you do what you love, you'll never work. And that's so not true. You know, it's really hard work is hard work being broke. And I can tell you very much that I have done what I loved, and until I learned how to sell. You know, I used to be a musician, and I couldn't sell Pussy on a Troop Train. But, you know, now I can sell like hell, and, you know, honestly, I have not much interest in doing music anymore. You know, creating music again, and, you know, just marketing it and selling it. I mean, yeah, I might sell somebody else's music one day, but, you know, I'm good on that. And so, you know, go through the exercises, identify your why, you know, why you get out of bed in the morning, and then, you know, set aside a few minutes each day to visualize yourself achieving your goals. And you've got a third one, identify your ideal customer. You know, what do you sell, and you know, who can you sell it to, and ultimately, who do you want to sell it to? And, you know, when you break down your ideal customer, maybe don't do it for what you're selling right now. You know, if you don't even have a job right now, if you're in between jobs and you're just like, you know, getting into sales, looking into sales, just, you know, write out who do you want to sell to and what do you want to sell, you know, and go for it, you know, but really break it down. You know, what this person that you're looking to sell it to, like, you know, where do they live? Do they have kids? You know, what are their hobbies? And then, you know, visualize closing a deal with them. And then find this person on Indeed, you know what I mean, that meets all this kind of criteria, or, you know, on Facebook, but really ideally on Indeed, so that you can, you know, hit them up with your new product that you have to sell to them.